We are back with some more Sage, still in the indie section, which is just massive. There are so many games at this year's Sage, so let's continue to dive in with the first game of this session called Monochromatic Aberration. This is a 3D platformer on the Unity engine. It's pretty basic stuff here. You have your running, your jumping, but you can do things like a longer jump, which if you gain a lot of momentum like running and then jump, you'll get the long jump. You can also do a double jump as well. So there will be signs in the stage as you're playing through that will tell you what you need to do to advance in the stage. So if there's any moves that you're not sure of that you can do, there will be signs that teach you how to do that. So that was a nice feature. I will say, honestly, I didn't like this one because this game just felt way too tanky in my opinion. Next, we have Monochrome Heights, and this is a 2D platformer. The game has this nice idea where your character can switch between black and white, and you can jump on the platforms that you share a color with. So you'll be switching back and forth to, black and white while you're platforming. So like if you see a white platform, you gotta transform white to land on it. And there's some hazards in the stage like spikes, and you'll be able to get past these spikes by just sliding because there's a slide action that you can do. And the game had controller support, and the responsive inputs were it was very responsive. It was just a very good game to play. The game doesn't intrude with teaching you how to play either. If there's something that you don't understand, there are NPCs throughout the stage that can teach you, what you need to do to advance. So this is really great for those who want to jump into this game, who already know how to play it and want to start immediately without getting interrupted by the tutorials. So I love that, especially because this game looks like it has so much replayability because, like I said, it's so good. The music was also very enjoyable in this game. It's just a great entry overall. I highly recommend this one. The next game is Moomi and Spike. It is a 3D platformer on the Unreal Engine. It is very, very platformy. The game is going to have you making use of all of these different jumping abilities like long jump, double jump, like holding down the jump button will result in making you do a bigger jump. So as I was playing this game, shortly into the first stage, you will be introduced to wall kicking, because wall kicking is one of the moves that you can do in this game. You simply just jump next to a wall and then press the jump button again. Your character will automatically kick off of it. So I managed to use this on the first obstacle that they wanted you to use it on, and everything went fine. Though the second one was so difficult, I could not pass this part. Like, I would try to jump off the wall and then do my double jump and then try to reach the platform. I tried to double jump, then kick off the wall, reach the platform. I was trying to get a lot of momentum while doing both of these actions, and none of these would work. And the lack of the controller support made it even worse for me. So I didn't really get to experience this game as much as I wanted to, simply because I was bad. I'm not going to put the blame on the game. I will say that the game was great from what I've played. It loaded fast, it looked good, and it ran smoothly. The next game is Mr. Shootem Breaks Out. This is a Pong game where you have to break all the blocks to clear the stage. So you will control the direction of the ball that's in the stage bouncing around simply by shooting it. So your character will have a gun, and you basically have unlimited ammo, and you just shoot the ball to guide it in the direction to where you can break the bricks. Now, as you're playing this, behind you there will be a defensive wall of your own that can be damaged every time the ball hits it, so you don't want that to happen. If the defensive wall takes too much damage, it will eventually break, and then you'll lose a life if the ball, flies through that defensive perimeter where there's nothing to block it. So, this is not really my type of game. But kudos to the author for the idea, you know, just putting a little twist on the classic game of Pong. Next is Mr. Triangle, the pizza delivery guy. The title of this game is actually much more longer than that, but I'm just going to give you the short version. It is a 2D platformer where you play as Mr. Triangle, who works at a pizza parlor, and he's the delivery guy. So your objective is to reach the end of the stage by jumping over bottomless pits and shooting enemies. Once you reach the end of the stage, Mr. Triangle will approach a house and someone will come to the door where they will be delivered the pizza, and thus you will complete the stage. So I thought that it was a nice experience. My only issue with this game was that there didn't appear to be any checkpoints. So if you ended up dying, such as falling into a bottomless pit, you had to start the stage over all the way from the beginning. So it does have controller support, if I didn't mention that already, so that was a very nice feature. I would say that this game was a nice entry. The next game was Nova's Adventure, and honestly, I just couldn't get the hang of this game. So when I was playing this, my character was barely able to jump, and so you have to throw these star bombs that will, it will break blocks, but like you could kind of toss it at the ground and it'll launch yourself higher into the air. But it just felt so wonky for me. I really just didn't like it. Every bottomless pit that I approached, it was very scary. I had, you know, to line myself up, you know, slow the whole pace down, line myself up to try and, you know, bomb myself so I could launch myself over the pit. Do all of this just to fall into the pit anyway. So I just kept getting frustrated with this game, and I cut it off quick. I did not give it much time. So I'm not going to say that it is a bad game. It is just not the game for me. The next game is Painter Blazer's Sage 24 demo. This game has that old school arcade feel to it, especially when you cut it on. It reminds me of classic games like Burger Time, Pac-Man, and Donkey Kong. So in this game, you are a painter, and your objective is to paint all of the pictures in the stage, but there are going to be enemies and hazards all over that will damage you. You can take about 3 hits before you actually die and have to start the stage over. So it's pretty fair. The game's difficulty is a bit all over the place. Some of these areas was like nice and balanced, some were a bit easy, and then some were like super freaking hard, where there was enemies everywhere, like the haunted house, for example, where they even have like a ghost that would spawn and would deliberately just keep chasing you until you killed it, and after you killed it, another one would spawn shortly after. So I thought that the haunted house was a very difficult stage. But overall, I will say that this is a great game. It had a great art style, and it was just very polished. Next is Penn Guinea's Dream Sack demo. This is a 2D platformer where you play as a penguin with a really fun moveset. He can perform this air action that allows him to bounce off enemies and objects to reach newer heights and advance in the stage. He can also do a penguin belly slide that gives him a boost of speed, which you can then use to roll up walls after jumping into them. It had some really great level design that like complemented the moveset that you have, and the music in this game was also really top tier. I think it may have been from one of the Sonic games, I'm not exactly sure, but it definitely felt familiar. Either way, this game was so fun. I actually put more time into it than I expected, and also more time than I should have put into it, because it was just that good. So I will say that this is one of the best games that I've played at Sage 24 so far, and I definitely suggest that you try this one out. So that's going to do it for me on this session. My favorite games from the bunch has got to be the Monochrome Heights and Penn Guinea's Dream Sack. But thanks to all of the mod authors for your submissions. If you're still here, thank you for watching. Leave a like or a dislike on this video to help support me, and subscribe to the channel if you're feeling generous. I will see you all next time.